Today we are reacting to some of the amazing sports edits from the subscribers of this channel. Hey, what's going on? My name is Peter Sarellas. I'm a videographer and editor from Toronto, Canada. I specialize in sports videography. And if you're new here, today we're reacting to sports videos submitted by you, the viewers of this channel. This is a recurring series that we do on the channel pretty regularly. And if you want to get your work submitted and viewed on the channel to be seen by everyone who's watching these videos, then you can submit it to peterwatchmysportsvideo@gmail.com. I love doing this series because you all make such good work, and it just gives me lots of inspiration for my own work, and hopefully can teach us all new techniques and ideas that we can apply to the videos that we create. So let's get into this first one from What's Good Bud. We have X Games Aspen 2024 edit. What's Good Bud says, "Hey man, I'm new to the editing game and just made my second edit ever. Been loving the content and positivity being pushed out and really brought me back to my passion for filmmaking and video editing. I currently do not have anything to film with, but plan to work with a friend to get some footage so I can start editing my own stuff and not stock footage. Appreciate everything you've already done, been doing, and what's to come in the future. Truly can't wait. Hope you enjoy the edit." Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate that. And I am psyched to see this. I've never shot snowboarding or X Games or anything like that, although I very much enjoy going snowboarding every once in a while. So let's see how this goes. It's a 30-second edit and it is widescreen on YouTube.
X Games, thank you.
That's sick. I like that effect.
I got the key like I'm never home. Standing on business, slide with a quickness, spin on your block till I'm dead and gone.
Yeah, those effects are cool. I love the rotoscope and stuff.
I was a gremlin, I was a villain. That's just the path I was headed on. There's some treacherous waters I treaded on. Paid the price on that block when I...
Nice and short. That's really good for just like social type of content, something of that length. Throw some fun effects to get people's attention, have people say funny things to the camera out there, your captions on it, like it grabs your attention. I was thoroughly engaged the entire time. Starting it off with a guy looking at the camera and going X Games mode is just hilarious in my opinion. And then you did a good job like cutting in this type of footage here where you have like not necessarily action but more so just like candid moments and like genuine stuff with this type of thing, where you have guys going through and you have like all these fun effects. So you had like the one animation effect there where the guy gets all animated for a second. You had another like clone effect where they split off into three, which is really cool. And then you had a final clone type of effect, which is sick. It would have been really cool to see you take that effect on that shot and give him clones throughout the rail that he was going across. So I could see him hit like 5 clones, 3 on the rail and then 2 in the air, and then land into the last clone in that clone trail. If you want to learn how to do something like that, I did a clone trail tutorial on this channel that you can watch right here. So I was kind of hoping to see that effect when you gave me 1 clone and then there were no more, but also you said this is like your second edit ever. So the fact that you're even doing this type of stuff is really sick. And I think just taking footage like this that is just available on the internet from broadcasts and using it just on a personal note, obviously not sharing footage that you don't have the rights to as part of your portfolio or anything, but just using this type of thing to like hone your skills and become a better editor if you don't have anything else, and then going and shooting your own footage or getting footage that you have the rights to from somebody who you know is a really good way to just start learning how to edit. So I really appreciate the like diligence and enthusiasm that comes with making something like this, and I really appreciate you submitting it, so thank you very much. By the way, you haven't included your name or your Instagram or anything like that in this email, so if the person who made this edit is watching, please let me know your Instagram. And for anybody else, all the Instagrams from the people who submitted videos today are going to be linked in the description. So if you like any of the edits that you see, please go check them out. Show the people who created these videos some love because they put lots of hard work into them. All right, Benjamin Mezza says, "Hey Peter, my name's Ben Mezza. I'm based in Appleton, Wisconsin. I've been shooting videos and making edits for a little over 2 years now, and I'm looking for constructive criticism and how to improve. Thank you for teaching me and the sports community how to improve our skills." Cool, we got 2 videos attached here. Let's check out this first one. I love the dunk on the beat drop, that's nice, and the fast cuts too.
Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead.
Yeah, again, really satisfying short form social content. I don't think you can really go wrong with this type of thing. The overlays at the start were nice for a bit. I just found that they were like, I think what I'm really looking for here is just a little bit more variety in the shots. Because you look at this first shot and it's a player walking out with his back to you, which isn't the most compelling thing. You kind of want to see a face to start your video. I feel like it's a better way to pull the audience in because you can see your subject and connect with them versus looking at a back to start the video. And then we have the same shot again of a different player, which is a bit of a jarring cut to start, but I didn't particularly mind it because of all the overlays. And then we have one shot of a player walking out from the front, and then we have another shot of a player walking out from the front, and then another shot of a player walking out from the front. It just seemed like too much of the same. So to start the video, although I didn't mind it, and then this part right here where the player goes and dunks right on the beat is really nice. I would have maybe wanted this start that was about 5 or 6 seconds long down to like 3 or 4, and just really hold on and give me a really well composed shot of one player walking out, slowly pushing in for like 4 seconds. Make sure it's really well color graded, make sure the lighting is on point, and just give me that one super cinematic shot at the beginning instead of giving me like 4 or 5 shots with a bunch of overlays on them. And that'll give me the initial impression and set the expectation throughout the video that this is some really high quality stuff that I have to be watching. And then you lead me into like the dunk on the beat drop, which is super satisfying. And then all these fast cuts here that you've done are really great. I think that you're doing a good job of cutting up the angles differently, so I'm not just looking at the same angle like I was at the beginning. Here you can look at it, and we have, that's a sideline angle, that's baseline, this is the other baseline from the front, that's the corner, that's from the back, that's from the sideline, this is from the baseline forward, that's from the other corner, that's from the baseline on the back. Like, there were no 2 shots in there from the same place, and it was all super fast cuts. You used flash transitions to get me through from one scene to the next. And instead of showing me full actions, you were cutting the fat out and just giving me the start, the middle, and the end, but really quickly. So everything made sense, but it also kept me moving and kept like my ADHD TikTok brain satisfied. And all of a sudden, I'm 22 seconds through this edit that's only 30 seconds long, and I've been enjoying myself the whole time. I think for a lot of these edits, your goal should be to start really strong and finish really strong. And if the stuff in the middle just tells the story and moves fast and is entertaining, then you're solid. But you want to put like a really good shot and some really good stuff at the start and some really good stuff at the end. So if you could have given me like one really funny moment or like a really well composed cinematic shot from the end of the game or post game to hold on for a few seconds at the end, maybe someone hits the dagger shot and then celebrates and you get a great look of it and you give me that with some raw audio, that would be awesome. So if like maybe you didn't get that this game, and that's totally fine, in which case you did nothing wrong here. But if you can give me something that's really satisfying like that, then that really helps finish a video off emphatically, in my opinion. But like, you asked for constructive criticism, so I'm trying to give it to you. But don't by any stretch of the imagination think you didn't do a good job here. I think you're doing a really good job with all of this. I would say if you're going to focus on one thing, focus on really differentiating your videos with the framing of your shots and your color grading. Like, try to get things that are a little bit more quote unquote cinematic, which, let's be real, in the social media world, it means shallow depth of field and camera movement. I think people just go crazy for that type of stuff. So if you can, I think that would be a good thing to focus on to bring your edits and your videography to the next level. But you're doing a really good job. And I think as long as you keep going out to more games and making more edits, you're going to find that you get a lot better really quickly. And you're probably going to look back on your work in a couple of years, and even though it's pretty decent right now, just feel like you've moved ahead miles. I know that's how I feel every time I look back on my old work. So thank you for submitting. All right, next up we have Patrick V. Gabulabi. Oh God. I definitely mispronounced that. Patrick V. Gbouable. Buable? I'm gonna roll with Buable, but if I got that wrong, Patrick, please correct me in the comments. So Patrick V. Buable says, "Hi Peter, I respect your work on YouTube and I find a lot of inspiration for sports videography. This is my first spec ad I will add to my portfolio. I'm excited to hear your feedback. Good or bad? Best? Patrick. All right, Patrick, let's check it out.
Sometimes it feels like a fight.
These
Fight
shots
against your own shadow.
are so like cinematic and good.
Do you know the feeling of flying? It's motivation. Motivation is something you choose to do. You cannot lose. It's you against you. It's a mindset. Who will jab first? I promise you, I will do it now. Are you ready?
The slow shutter effects are really cool for breaking this up. That was really, really nice. Now, I don't know what fly is. And maybe watching this and not knowing what fly is by the end of it is a critique. But I don't want to critique this too much because I thought that this was so good. I think that the composition and the lighting in these shots is beautiful. This shot to start is so satisfying. You have perfect symmetry down the middle. And he just looks so badass in this shot with the really dark side of his face and the light side. I love the high contrast type of look for really intense sports types of videos. I think it just looks so sick, and you make it look so good here. Literally perfectly following the very typical rule of thirds, and the silhouette lighting that you're doing is really nice. I'm going to talk about this later in a video I filmed later today about filming a low light, but you're lighting your subject so that he isn't the brightest thing in the scene. You've got this window here as your key light, and his back is the brightest part of him, and then his face is in the darkness, which really creates a mysterious type of look in this shot that just keeps me wanting to come in. And then I don't really know how you got from that shot to this shot, but a wide angle close-up is just, in my opinion, so satisfying. You can see so much detail in the face. You can see all the pores in his face. And again, you're using a really dark side of his face here and a bright side here to maintain that contrasty type of look. I'm assuming that same window is your key light. And this shot just draws you in. I don't know how you can't be compelled by a shot like this. Then again, we're still going with that same theme of silhouetting the subject, keeping some more mystery here. And we're using these windows as your main light. Yeah, and then cutting into a close-up of the same action, cutting back to the wide, pretty standard multi-camera editing, which is really nice. And now we're kind of giving our subject his real introduction. We have nice even lighting where, again, you've done center framing again, just like you did in the very first shot, with symmetry on both sides. And this is really like a hero shot, which I really like. Now, I'm going to say this because if I don't say it now, I'm going to forget. But like, and obviously you aren't a voice actor, but the only thing that was really, really disappointing in this for me was that the visuals were so strong, and then the voiceover was recorded probably by you on whatever microphone you had kicking around in a not sound treated room. Maybe it was just recorded on your phone or something. And obviously I understand this is a spec ad, so you're going to do what you can, and you're not going to be a professional voiceover artist. But I think the thing that was missing from this, if you have any ability to change it based on your circumstances, is a really clean, polished voiceover to accompany the quality that is coming with these visuals. So I'd keep that in mind. Yeah, I love those detail shots. And then as you're giving me a couple slow shots, maybe 15 seconds into the video, I'm getting a little bored. You throw in this like fast paced and quick flash of a slow shutter effect, which becomes a little bit of a theme throughout the video, which is super cool. I will say for this shot, I don't know if this is intentional or not. The subject is out of focus here and the belt is out of focus here. So I don't really know what I'm supposed to be looking at here. But if you go a couple seconds later in the shot, now the belt is in focus and the subject is out of focus. And if you had locked this shot off with the subject completely out of focus the entire time and the belt completely in focus out of the entire time, then I would say, okay, this shot is meant to show the prize that this fighter is working for and establish some stakes in this video, which would make a lot of sense. But because the focus hunts and a couple seconds earlier you don't have the belt in focus, it just looks like an error. So for this type of thing, I would say just lock your focus off wherever you want to focus on the fighter or you want to focus on the belt. And yeah, a montage like this, just cutting back from action to another action is just really nice, compelling editing. I really liked the way that you got the logo of the company on the gloves. Perfect brand placement. This isn't a spec ad. It's not a spec montage. You need to showcase the company. So this makes me think that Fly sells boxing gloves or something, or is a boxing equipment provider. And there's the logo right there. And then you just film them doing 3 or 4 different actions. You have him doing a couple punching bags. You have him doing jump rope, and you're just cutting them back and forth. And there's that little slow shutter effect again that you throw in there to keep things engaging. In the last video that we just watched, I talked about wanting to start your video and finish your video with a bang to really leave a lasting impression. And those first few shots you used were great. And this last shot here, like, this is such a compelling shot. You've gone from hiding the subject's face and making it the darker point at the start of the video to having everything else dark and only the subject's face properly lit by the end of the video, kind of giving him this big reveal. And you're showcasing the product very prominently in this shot. It's a beautifully composed shot. And then you punch the camera, which is just a jarring way to bring me back in, and then tie everything back with the consistency of the slow shutter effect that you've been using throughout. And then you finish it on the same shot right here that you started it with at the very beginning, which is such a satisfying bookend to this ad. And he gets up and goes back to work, and we see the logo. It's so well thought out. You've done such a good job thinking this out. The lighting was on point. You were very intentional with all of your choices. I think the cinematography in this is just great. So for a spec ad, like, this is something you should definitely be proud of. If I'm gonna give you one more critique, I think that you should try to cut this down to 30 seconds, since a typical ad spot is 30 seconds in length. Then it'll be easier to potentially use this with a client as a pitch tool to help them, like, conceptualize what their ad can look like when it actually fits the requirements of what their ad's going to need to be, which is probably a 30-second ad. Man, you've done so good. Like, this is so cool. And yeah, I think anyone, including myself, would be very proud to make something like this. So good job. Our next video is from Patrick Cassidy, who says, "Hello Peter, my name is Patrick and I'm a graduate assistant at my university inside the athletic communications department. Over the summer, I was put in charge of putting together a welcome home video for the incoming freshman athletes. All clips were shot by me, and the turnaround time for the all athletics video was 3 days. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Let's check it out, Patrick." Cool drone shots. Makes sense if you're trying to establish all the facilities for freshmen coming into your university.
Tonight from the John Book Fieldhouse.
13 on a gong.
This is so cool that you get to showcase every sport. It's given me so much different footage to take in and so engaging. Oh, that was super satisfying. I love that sound effect. Nice. I love that you're getting to use the best moments from every sport at your school. Like, that's just a recipe for an engaging video. And the sound design is really just emphasizing that. Yeah, that is awesome. If I was a freshman coming into this school and was recently recruited, this would get me so hyped to play here. The thing that really did it for me, like, don't get me wrong, the visuals were really good. You picked the best moments of every sport and probably had lots of footage to work with, which made sure that everything was pretty high quality. But like the thing that really did it for me was the color commentary and the fans and the team yelling and cheering when they won. It just made it look like there's a bunch of successful athletes at this school and all of the teams here are winners. And that might not be true. You might have had like a couple teams that were good and then just some moments here and there from some other teams, and you had to like put it all together. But the vibe that I got from this is that these teams win and have a lot of fun doing it. And I think when you just like bring in new freshman recruits, this is the type of vibe you want to give them. This is what you want to sell them on. You did a good job of including every single sport and making every single one engaging. It can be hard to cut a whole bunch of different sports together like this because sometimes there's not a lot to tie in. Soccer with volleyball, with wrestling, for example. But you managed to work them all into a pretty concise edit that felt like it had a lot of unity between it. For a 3-day turnaround, you must have been looking through loads of archival footage. So being able to pull everything and make sense of it into a really cohesive edit in that short of a time is really impressive. So good job. Well, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to submit your sports video edit to get reviewed on the channel, please send it to peterwatchmysportsvideo@gmail.com. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel because I post videography and video editing tips and tutorial videos similar to this on a regular basis and would love to have you around for that. If you have any questions about any of this type of stuff, if you want to show any of these people some love, go down to the comment section and let them know what videos you liked. They're also going to have all their Instagrams linked in the description if you want to go check out the work of the people who submitted their videos today. And that's going to be all for this one. So until next time, peace.